This is a bookable summary of the book How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes. We should all work to improve and feel more at ease talking to one another. Being social beings, communication is essential to practically everything we do. So wouldn't it make sense if we worked on improving our communication skills? Author Leil Lowndes has dedicated her life to helping people become better communicators. She has been publishing books containing do's and don'ts for decades in an effort to help people sail the tumultuous waters of daily communication. Here are some of the basic and more advanced techniques that will help enable you to breeze through a casual discussion or tense, high-stakes meeting. Number 1. First impressions matter, so remember to smile and use welcoming body language. How you look and act is seared into people's brains, so a good first impression begins with your face. People can spot a fake smile, so let the grin grow slowly, as this will make it appear more personal and genuine. In corporate environments, women who are slower to smile are considered more credible. When meeting someone for the first time, greet them with a warm smile and body language that shows you're giving her your undivided attention. Maintain eye contact with that person even if they're not talking, and only break off that contact when you must. Another tip is to avoid giving everyone in the group the same smile, as this can be off-putting. Number 2. Smooth introductions and familiar gestures lead to good conversations. A smooth introduction is all needed to get a good conversation going. Bring an icebreaker or conversation starter that you can bring with you, such as a vintage pocket watch or a one-of-a-kind purse. If you're hosting the meeting, you can make introductions and include 1 or 2 interesting facts about each person. You can also ask them a few questions about the mysterious stranger so that you have a way of starting the conversation yourself. Number 3. Master the art of small talk by opening conversational doors and keeping people talking. Small talk can mean the difference between winning someone over and scaring them off in your business and private life. Be prepared for the inevitable questions you'll get asked. A common way to keep a person talking is to use their pauses as an opportunity to take the last thing they said and repeat it in such a way that puts the ball back in their court. Number 4. Build rapport through imitating, empathising, and acting like a close friend. There's a saying that goes like this: imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So use this to make it easier for you to get along with others. You can use human nature to your advantage by highlighting the commonalities you have with the person you're trying to flatter. The same goes for language. Try to use the same words and phrases they use. When we talk, we tend to subconsciously reply with monosyllabic mumblings such as huh, yeah, or just to acknowledge that we're listening. But if you want to make a good impression, use full sentences that show your partner that you're truly listening, like, that was the right thing to do, or, I see why you did that. You could even go further by using words that relate to their interests, like home run and boating, to build rapport. People tend to use these words only when speaking of their closest friends and partners. Number 5. Be delicate, sparing, and immediate with your praise. Praise is a good thing, right? If you want to deliver a dazzling compliment to that special person in your life, just highlight one specific trait you admire. Even if you're stretching the truth, your colleague will appreciate it if you tell them that they did a good job immediately. If you're sincere and genuine in your compliment, they'll be sure to appreciate it. Number 6. Always be considerate in your relationships, especially when it comes to giving and receiving favours. We've covered many of the basics of how to talk to anyone and win them over. Now let's look at some expert-level tricks to put you on top of your interpersonal game. First, understand that people need to vent from time to time, especially after a rough day. Second, make sure you don't leave a conversation hanging. Once the distraction has been dealt with, don't forget to return to your friend and have her pick up where she left off. Say your friend is in the middle of a great story when a waiter interrupts her to take your orders. The third tip is that sometimes things are best left unsaid. Everyone has moments they hope no one notices, like if they experience a certain smelly and embarrassing biological function when in someone else's company. That doesn't mean you or the other person have to acknowledge it with a remark. The considerate thing to do is continue the conversation as if it never happened. The final form of considerate behaviour is to perfect the art of favour. If you do someone a favour, don't ask for something in return right away. Instead, let time pass so that they know you've performed your favour out of friendship. Be thankful and appreciative of those who continually have your back. Number 7. Sounding professional is crucial for career success. If you're an ambitious worker, you'll likely be on the lookout for ways to impress the boss. A key tactic for this is to ensure that you always sound professional. When talking with your boss, cut to the chase and be direct. By starting your sentences with you, the listener is bound to pay more attention to the words that follow. When you're considering how to deliver the news, think about what your listener's response is expected to be. If it's disappointing news, tell them with a compassionate sigh. If you're meeting with a potential client, don't just tell them your job title, tell them what you do for people. Instead, ask them, how do you spend most of your time? Here are some of the most typical ones. But as with any communication, there are also plenty of pitfalls in trying to sound professional. Number 8. Stay in charge by separating business and leisure and by always being honest. A great tip for all bosses is to keep business away from personal time. Don't start talking shop until you're done with the dessert, especially if the topic is tough. No one wants their appetite ruined by an unpleasant business conversation. Climbing the career ladder is hard enough, but once you get to the top, there's a whole new challenge. Avoid getting knocked back down. Don't be afraid of making mistakes because it allows you to impress the customer by making up for them. Be transparent and upfront about how both the client and yourself will benefit. This way, they won't think you're trying to pull a fast one. Always be the first one to applaud or speak up when someone applauds or offers an opinion. Number 9. Preparing for meetings pays off. If you pick up a new word once a day for 2 months, you'll soon come across as quite the clever and creative wordsmith. People with deep and plentiful vocabulary are seen as more intelligent and creative. Looking up some of your more repetitive words in a thesaurus can help improve your chances of having a successful meeting with someone you don't know. If you're attending a trade conference or similar event, brush up on your business jargon by leafing through trade magazines or websites. Knowing insider knowledge like this increases the chances that you'll be welcomed into the inner circle and treated with a bit more respect than a stranger would be. The same holds when you're a tourist or travelling on business. Number 10. Effective phone skills can compensate for the absence of visual cues. When you pick up the phone, greet the caller like a long-lost friend. People tend to become more alert when they hear their name, so you can keep someone's attention by using their name more frequently. But beware of carrying this into face-to-face talks, as saying a person's name too often can sound like you're pandering. When the caller identifies himself, greet him like you would a long-lost friend. Number 11. Get the most out of every party by making a strong entrance and taking the initiative. Many people attend parties just to have a good time. Here are some suggestions for how you can meet and impress all the movers and shakers in attendance. Once again, that first impression is all important. Once inside, you should take the initiative and gravitate toward the most interesting person in the room. The technique for a dramatic entrance is simple. Pause at the doorway and give the room a scan. Take mental notes of what the other person is saying, as it will likely prove useful later. What's your most important key takeaway? Please comment down below and share the video if you like it. Check out these other 2 videos. Thank you, and until next time.